Tell the truth.
BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3
now
Network,
tuned to
changing
BS3
the way you
Network
listen
is
to
now
way
on
you
Roku
watch TV under BS3 TV. Download today. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
What's up, everybody?
Tell the truth.
Okay, everybody, peace. I want to get into it right now. And let me say to everybody, last week I was not live. So if it threw anybody off, everything is okay with me. I actually was a guest on on a brother Beard brother show, Beard Daddy. He had a show and we were critiquing music because he has various DJs that produce music, and we were doing a contest over there. So that's why I didn't go live last week, and I had mentioned that before. But I'm staying steady. I'm on the case. This issue around what happened in Chicago, or what's happening in Chicago, is something that I wanted to talk about last week when it was hot off the presses. However, this is still a relevant topic simply because this not only affects Chicago, but this is coming to another city near you where you have sanctuary cities like San Francisco, Chicago. I think they're even dropping people off in the Sacramento, California area. And I know people are going to say, well, you say that the Democrats are the fault for this. Oh, you must be a Republican or a Donald Trump supporter. I'm neither of those things. But this is a problem, folks. As you see right here, Chicago rages over migrants. And this is the reason why people in Chicago are upset with this. And I know Alicia is in the chat room, and she's from Chicago, so she knows more about what's happening on the ground level. I think black folks are upset in Chicago because they are dropping migrants who do not know the culture, do not speak the language, into black communities when you have La Raza X or you have Latino communities in Chicago, that they could place them in those communities to best help them culturally. But they always dump people in the black community because they don't think that we are politically, collectively intelligent, right? And then it was Ron Emanuel who shut down 50 schools or more in Chicago. And then all of a sudden, those schools have been shut down. They didn't want to do anything to use those schools to benefit the community until they decided we're going to turn the schools and convert them into housing for migrants, people who have come over here. We don't know who these people are. We don't know how many of them are over here because they're escaping persecution because they're a criminal in their country. They've done something horrible. We don't know if the cartels are using them to come into this country so they can continue doing their deeds through the migrants. We don't know. But what we do know is that they were dropped off in the community in Chicago. That's why when you look at this picture right here, you could tell this brother is not happy. He's not having it. And black folks, this is an issue that we all need to take heed in and understand. It affects us all economically. You have black people in a city like Chicago, beautiful Chicago, some black folks that are struggling to make ends meet. You've got a Chicago. Let me just break down. When you bring in an influx of these folks, now, I'm not saying that Brandon Johnson brought them in, that the Democratic leadership like Lori Lightfoot, but they damn sure didn't deal with it when black people were concerned about what was happening. They didn't bring them in. We know that it was the Republican Governor Babbitt. Then we had this evil individual down in Florida who's been setting them up. But guess what? Chicago, San Francisco, Oakland, wherever you're at, I see you, AM1. All these Democratic cities and states, you are the blame for this by making yourself a Democratic city when black folks didn't even ask for this. Nobody took it to a vote to say, yes, we want to be a sanctuary city. Nobody. The voters had a right to vote on that when simply you just stuck it in there and then you dump these people on black folks because you think black folks have no power. We have no say-so. We have not collectively intelligent enough to understand politics, that you can just dump them on us and we're not going to hear anything from us. When black people told Lori Lightfoot, don't let the migrants don't put them in that school in our community, and they were sitting out in the snow telling her, they did not listen. And this is my question tonight. Why do we continue to vote for the Democratic Party? I'm with Phil Scott on this. He had a podcast talking about this, and shout out to Brother Phil. I got to get in contact with him. He was absolutely right when he was saying, wait a minute. The Democrats or the Democrats continue to neglect their most loyal voters, which are black people. We are the most loyal. They gave $51 million to migrants. The money is only going to be good, y'all. Listen to me. Let me put myself on the screen. Listen to me right now, everybody. Definitely listen. I need y'all to definitely hear what I'm saying, as I am angry about this situation.
Tell the truth.
All right. We've been voting for the Democratic Party for time immemorial. Before I was born, your parents, grandfathers, everyone, grandmothers, uncles have been voting, and we just do it so naturally, but we never ask the question, what are we getting for our votes? What are we getting? They gave the migrants $51 million that's only going to take care of them for 1 month. That's the month of June right now. But guess what? There's not one of these migrants that put the Democratic Party in Chicago or any politicians in office, right? None of them. Black people are the reason why they're in office, but yet you neglect black folks in Chicago and other folks in that city that are citizens. And you let people stay there who were sent to you. You should have sent them. I don't care what anybody thinks. They should have been sent right back. I'm going to tell you why I have this attitude when I show you some explosive videos that I have saved up from another situation that's going to remind you all of what happened. See, nobody asked a question about another group of people, but I'm going to show you something tonight that's going to knock your socks off. And now you're going to see why I have this attitude. Why don't they take them back to where they came from? Why don't the United States government hold the countries that they come from accountable for not taking care of their own people? How about you do that? How about you set forth a bill, a law that says if you get caught hiring an illegal, because that's what's happening here, they get hired by somebody under the table, then you're going to be penalized. Now, we know people come over here for asylum, for a better way of life, but what about the people who went about doing everything the right way, filing their paperwork, people that are waiting to become a citizen, people that are waiting to get in this country who have to wait their turn? And these folks can just come on over here because they're walking through from South America into Central America into Mexico. And then what is the Mexican government doing? Why they're not being held accountable? Black people say we're due reparations. You say you ain't got no money. How the hell could Chicago have money of $51 million to take care of migrants and hotels to get them out of police stations, but yet they had no money to help black communities or black people that are doing poor in Chicago that have been taxpayers at one point in their life and are born in this country? Make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me show you a video that is going to remind you of what I'm saying. When Lori Lightfoot was in office, I want y'all to remember this. Black folks, and this is another Democratic mayor of Chicago. Ron Emanuel was a Democratic mayor who came out of the old Obama experiment. And black folks told her, don't just dump them on us like this. And she did nothing. They thought that Brandon Johnson, with his award-winning smile here, that Brandon Johnson would be different. Remember, this is the same Brandon Johnson who was caught on video, and I think Jason Black exposed this on his channel, where he was telling black folks, telling us that we have to show some love and compassion. Wait a minute, brother. Where is the love and compassion for the black folks that put your ass in office? Love and compassion? We don't even know these folks. How about love and compassion for the black folks that are your citizens there, like these black folks that are standing up and speaking out? You know, there's no country in the world where you can just go into someone else's country, squat there and say, hey, I want to stay here, and they're going to let you stay there. If I was to go to any country in the world, they would take my black you-know-what. Remember a few years ago, 2 years ago, you had Africans from the western part of Africa who got on rafts. They went all the way to Italy, I think Spain or Italy. You know what those folks in Italy and Spain did? They put them, they took them in, they processed them, and took them right back to Africa, to western part of Africa. And I find that interesting because of the fact that people are telling black folks that we need to go back to Africa.
The truth.
But yet you have brothers and sisters from Africa doing everything they can to get over here. I want y'all to remember this video right here. Let me play this for you. Remember this?
I'm here because I am a child of Woodlawn. I was born and raised in Woodlawn. And
Woodlawn, Chicago.
I'm speaking on behalf of the people that are here and the ones that's not here. The ones that's at work and couldn't make it here. We are very disappointed in this decision that Mayor Lightfoot has made to place these migrants in our community without our permission.
Shame.
Mayor Lightfoot would never pull this type of thing in anyone's neighborhood. She would not drop off a busload of Haitians in Little Village. She would not drop off a busload of black people in Chinatown.
Never.
She would not drop off a busload of black people up north.
Never.
So it's time for Mayor Lightfoot to understand we will no longer be disrespected by you, ma'am. Please withdraw your decision to put the migrants in our community. There's plenty of room in Little Village for their people.
Little Village would be an area that would meet their cultural needs. But like I said before, anything you don't want in your neighborhood, you put in black people's neighborhood. And you notice in Chicago and around this country, they're not taking these migrants to primarily cities where you have white mayors. It's a strategy by the Republicans that are doing this, okay? And then the Democrats are dropping the ball. They're sending these people to Pacific cities where you have black mayors and you have large numbers of black people, okay? These folks in Woodlawn, remember I did the story about this a few months back? These folks told her not to do this. So supposed to be a Democratic mayor, and she didn't even listen to these folks. It's a damn shame. Let's continue.
Please speak to Little Village and take them over there. We're not hating on anyone, but we are loving on Woodlawn.
That's right.
As well, we already are struggling with the issue of fentanyl in our communities. We don't need anything else to add to the struggles that we already have.
So once again, as you can hear her saying, we already are struggling with the issues of fentanyl in the community, and we don't need any more extra issues that are affecting our bottom line here. This is black people asking the Democratic leadership in Chicago, particularly at that time, Mayor Lightfoot, before she got beat by Brandon Johnson and beat out in this, got beat out in the whole runoff situation. She got beat before runoff. They were asking her to please reconsider what she was doing. Mind you, the migrants haven't voted for any of these people, but black folks did. You see what we get in return? Makes no sense. Let's get back to the rest of this.
If there is a lack of resources in our community, we don't need anyone else to come in and suck those up.
Right.
We're tired, Miss Lightfoot.
Tell the
We're
truth.
tired, and we
Tell
will
the
not
truth.
be voting for you. Thank you.
Right.
Really?
That's what you need to do to these Democrats. This is where I agree with Phil Scott podcast. We may need to drastically say, as black people who have been voting Democratic, we got to send a message to these damn Democrats, these Democrats. They take us for granted. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because I've got more. This video is just the precursor of the other things I'm going to show you that's going to make you scratch your damn head. Let's continue. And I thank everybody for coming in. I know I wasn't here a week ago, and I know I've been doing mostly Sunday shows, and I was supposed to do some shows during the week. As you know, I'm very busy on these YouTube streets with all types of channels that I'm managing, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all always on this channel. Let's continue. I got more juicy stuff for you. Don't go nowhere. And let's go back to this right here.
Plenty of room in Little Village for their people. Please.
All right.
Tell the truth.
Okay, everybody, tell the truth. I want to thank you, all those of you that are here. Let me go and see who do we have in the chat room right now before I continue the presentation. And I once again thank you all for being here and supporting the Information Man Show. We're doing what we can. Believe me, I wanted to do this particular topic a week ago, but this topic is relevant. Whether I do it a week after this or not, it is relevant because it's coming to you wherever you are very soon. Okay. We've got Beverly Palmer's We got Jackie, American Us. What's going on, sister? Saying FBA Nation here. Hey, thank you. Thank you for being here. We got Jill's Chocolate Boutique. We've got AM1, my man AM1 out of Oakland saying, is voting to be ruled over is always a bad idea. Right. We should not vote to be ruled over. You're supposed to vote to, look, politicians are supposed to work for us. We don't work for them. We set the tone and dictate what we want in the terms of it. Now, look, I got to say this. Remember the Chinese, or not the Chinese, Asian people, because it encompasses a lot of people that are Asian. They got a crime bill that specifically was tailored to them. If you go and look at that crime bill, all the wording is tailored to them. Black people, we can't even get the George Floyd bill signed. We can't even get the voted right thing. They can't get anything done for us. And what the Democrats will come back to you and they'll say, well, see, and if you want us to get something done, you got to help us get the House. You had the damn House. The Democrats had the House, lost the House to the damn Republicans, and they didn't do any. This is the game that the Democrats play. We put them into office. We put them in the seats at the Senate or the Congress level. And then we say, hey, where's the black stuff? What do we get? Then they don't do shit for us, but they give us symbolism. So they'll give us someone in the Supreme Court. They'll give us symbolism. Oh, we got. It's all a shame. They give us nothing but symbolism. Put a couple of people in the cabinet. Give us a black person who's a secretary who speaks and tell you what the president is lying to you about. We got Kamala Harris talking about, I ain't gonna do nothing for black people only. Always giving us excuses and using a political word called people of color and marginalized people. Folks, stay away from that word. Don't use it. Don't define yourself as people of color. That's a trick bag to put you into this all rainbow bright type of thing. Just if I haven't forgotten, Joe Biden has just passed a bill, or he has signed a executive order that reinforces the healthcare rights and protection rights of people of the LGBTQ community. That's specific to a particular community. Black people, all we get is trickle-down politics. All we get is, oh, we're helping all marginalized people. And then what they do is they lump the LGBTQ and all these other groups in with us, and they don't even deal with half of the shit that we deal with, or half of the shit that we've dealt with historically. But the Biden administration,
Tell the truth,
which has done nothing to help a place like Chicago from the federal level, the federal government is doing nothing. But yet they've got money to give to the Ukraine. They got money to give to everybody else in the world, but they got no money to give to people right in this country. Now, when they give $51 million for taking care of the migrants for just 1 month in Chicago, that's reparations. They're taking your reparations money, black folks. Yeah, that's your that's part of your reparations money. And when they tell us, they tell me, we ain't got no money for this and that. That's all nonsense. Don't believe any of it. It's all BS and hype. Let me go to the next area of my video that I want to show you. This is from one of the news clips from what's happening in Chicago. Check this out.
Wounds coming to the surface.
As Black people who have been hurt continuously by the city and country it loves, it ain't our responsibility to take care of everybody.
Now, this is Jeanette Taylor. I had a lot of respect for her because she was one of the alderman ladies who, she's of the 20th ward. I think she was the one speaking out about the folks in Woodlawn, the folks that I just played earlier. Now, I appreciate her doing that and standing up. But this is the problem I have with Miss Taylor, and I think there's people in Chicago that are calling her sort of a sellout now, because as she got up here and cried, why do we as black people always start crying when we make a decision that is when we have to make a decision that would actually be in our best interest? But she got to crying about what black people have gone through, but she flipped it around after saying all that and ended up voting. she ended up voting yes on the measure to give the $51 million so they can take care of migrants for only one freaking month of taxpayers' dollars. So I want you to understand, as she's saying, as she's so conflicted here, she still voted for it. Listen.
It ain't our responsibility to take care of everybody else.
Right, it's not, but you still voted for it, my sister Taylor. Come on. You still voted for it.
And anger.
We don't want to have to recall anybody. We don't want to have to protest anybody, but we are not going to be ignored, Brandon. Mayor Johnson.
Many in Chicago's black community and the city council speaking out against spending $51 million to house migrants, asking when will the help for them finally become a reality.
And it cannot be put on the backs of the residents of Chicago without showing them that they're getting something.
Now, what that brother just said right there, that's David Moore, 17th Ward in Chicago, saying without them getting something. But this is the problem. Why would you vote on a measure without deciding what do black folks get? Huh? What do black folks, I can make a song out of this. What do black folks get? What do black folks get? Nothing. But come on, you can damn near write a song. It's so damn sad.
Out of this.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, presiding over his second full city council meeting, had to ask for calm more than once.
Will the Sergeant of Arms please restore some order?
Police also intervening at one point to allow the meeting to proceed. Ultimately, the measure passed with 34 votes. Many who voted to approve the money, like 49th Ward Alderwoman Maria Haddon, call this an immediate crisis that needs attention. But, she says, so do concerns of the city's black residents.
Why are black people in Chicago and some communities so angry? Why is all this kind of anti-immigrant sentiment coming up? And I want to explain to folks, it's because if we cared as much about black people and had over the decades as we do about everyone else, we wouldn't be here.
Let me stop there. Now, she made really good points. This is Marie, and she is a 49th Ward member, representative in Chicago. They have all these wards out there of areas that they represent in Chicago. And anybody in the chat room that lives in Chicago, you know these things a hell of a lot better than I would. But this is the problematic issue. Black people, sometimes we have a loving heart, which can be to our detriment. We're emotional people. We're loving people, right? We treat everybody in a certain decent way that they don't treat us. But in the end, as she made these statements that were so true, what ended up happening? She did this. She voted for it, damn it. Oh, my God. Continue.
But the money from a 2021 budget surplus will only last 1 month. Many alderpeople say it's time for a long-term plan and some state and federal help. With that, should taxpayers be concerned?
Tell the truth.
Taxpayers have to be concerned because there are so many services that are needed for the people that are citizen. You know, there's an old saying, you always take care home first, right? All of us who have jobs or we're entrepreneurs, when we get paid or we earn our money through our business that we own or through employment that we have, what's the first thing that you do? I learned this growing up. You take your paycheck, you take your money, and you focus on paying your bills first. You pay your bills, you take care of home, you take care of your rent, you take care of your mortgage, take care of your utility, you take care of all the important necessities, and then you look at what kind of discretionary money you have to enjoy movies, travel, and whatever else you like. You take care home first. Well, in Chicago, they seem to don't understand that concept, that you take care home first. What's that home? Your home base. Democrats in Chicago, which is what? Black people have been the largest base for the Democratic Party in Chicago and in this damn world. And the people that are citizens in Chicago are the first priority over anybody who comes in or has been dropped off to you, and you don't know who they are, where they exactly come from. You don't know if you're dealing with a bunch of criminals that you've just brought into the community and you dumping them into the black community, which the black community was very concerned about. Who are these people? They're just walking around Chicago. Hell, they even gave them bikes. They're now talking about giving them IDs. They're now talking about getting employment training and employment for them. Wait a minute. How about employment for the people that are citizens?
Tell the truth.
How about the black people that are there and the people in the most impoverished parts of Chicago? Don't they supposed to be front and center to get jobs first? What's going on? We don't know who any of these people are. They just got off a goddamn bus. Remember in New York, I did that video in New York. This guy right here is angry. Remember I did that video about how they set up special tents with Xboxes and everything for the migrants that came over to New York. Once again, another Democratic city and a Democratic mayor in Adams. And he got up there telling everybody, I don't want to get into discussions about who's getting this and who's getting that. They got Xboxes. They got a plush little tent. Of course, there wasn't a lot of people that showed up for this, but you had black folks that were living in a homeless shelter, not that far from the tent, where they got this. You see that in the corner where it says homeless shelter in the far corner left? That's what they get. Remember I did a story about that? Now, Mayor-elect Johnson on migrants. I'm going to work in collaboration with the people of Chicago. You didn't work with the people of Chicago because these black folks right here said, hell no. He's talking about how he wants to be supportive for the asylum seekers to make sure every community and every person in it is protected. What about black folks, Brandon? It was black folks who voted for you, not the migrants, not the asylum seekers. They didn't vote for you. Black people voted for your ass. You wouldn't be in office if it wasn't for them. Paul Silas could have almost beat your ass. Or Paul Vallis. It was black folks that put you over the top, Brandon Johnson, because you were something new, fresh. But you're doing more of the same, in my estimate. Here's another video. Watch this.
Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor brought to tears.
I know what's right. I know it's right to want to help other people, because as black people, that's what we do.
Boom. Aren't you sick of this, folks? It's true. As black people, that's what we do. We help other people. We reach out. We give a helping hand. But I have to ask this question to everybody in the chat room. And I'm not trying to sound cruel here, but why is it always us? Brown girl Bella, good to see you. Why is it always us? Jackie, why is it always us? Deborah Guns, why is it always us? Mandrell, you should have a, you should be modded up on my channel, Mandrell. What's going on here? There you go, brother. You're modded up. Mandrell, why is it always us? Brandon Recovery TV. Brandy Recovery TV, why is it always up? Brandy. Judah Queen, why is it always us? Everybody in that chat room. That's the $1 million question. Good to see you, Brown Girl Bella. Good to see you, Sora. Monique Hill, why is it always us? Living by, why is it always us? Another CG, why is it always us? I need people in that chat room that give me some answers to this. Queen, I know I am. I've known you for a while, following me now. Why is it always us? King Lion's Crown, why is it always us? I see you in there. None of you can escape from my eyeballs. Maurice Delk, why is it always us? I'm not afraid to call the Democrats out. I'm an equal opportunity getter. The Democrats in Chicago have failed black people. Henceforth, the title of the video today. She's going on about how black people are always helping people when she know the right thing, but she voted for it despite all the crocodile tears that she gave out. Listen.
People, because as black people, that's what we do. But when the hell are y'all gonna help us?
The measure.
Now, she asked, when the hell, she said, When the hell are y'all going to help us? But after doing that, she still ended up voting for the measure. Sister, why did you do this? Because this is our Achilles heel as black people. I'm just going to be honest. Our Achilles heel is that we love people to a fault. We love people to a fault that it also hurts us. We love people to a fault. I'm talking about people who don't even look like us. We love people to the fault of not loving ourselves. I can make this argument that we may love other people more than we love ourselves. I think black people, like I said before, we have this hate for one another. We have this self-hate and we project it on one another. And for some reason, we like other people. Why you think that we spend money on trying to make ourselves look non-black, whether it be the hair, the weaves, the tanning, whatever it is that we're doing to ourselves to not make ourselves look as black as we want to be, right? This is why black people get into this fascination about Egypt, but yet we don't want to deal with the fact that, hey, we got ancestry in Western Africa because that part of the continent doesn't seem as sexy as Egypt. We always want to associate ourselves with something that is truly not of our full, true origins. And so with that self-hate, we will love on other people. We get excited when white people can sing and dance just like us. Come on, keep it real. Tell the truth, okay? Y'all know I'm telling the truth. We get excited.
Tell the truth.
Oh, that white girl can dance and move. We get excited. But we marginalize ourselves. Let's hear some more of this. As she was crying, look at what they did.
Because as black people, that's what we do. But when the hell are y'all going to help us?
The measure passed with 34 votes, but the money from a budget surplus will only provide funding through the end of June. Right now, Chicago is spending $20 million a month on the migrant crisis. So how will this money be spent? We sat down with Alderman Byron Sigcho Lopez, who's been on the front lines of the migrant crisis since August. He says the mayor's working group, made up in part with members of the Latino caucus, will help decide how to spend the money. First, the money will go to the most urgent needs.
Shelter, basic shelter, food insecurity, and minimum staffing. I think that's what we're talking about here.
Mayor Johnson with few details on the plan.
There are some dynamics that we're going to have to dig in a little bit deeper in the city of Chicago, but that's...
Black folks have been digging in deeper in Chicago since day one they got there. Brandon, what are you talking about? Why don't you dig in deeper in your pockets? Why don't the city of Chicago dig deeper in their pockets to help the people that are citizens of Chicago who are in despair and need help? Why is it that every time there's a crisis or something that's going on, we're always asking the black community to dig deep into their pockets? Why? Why is it always us?
Tell the truth.
As they said on the video, folks, I brought this up to you all a few weeks back. The city has been spending $20 million a month. That's your tax dollars. That's your reparations, black folks. That's the money that that's some of the money that America owes black people who are lineage to America and lineage to what? Chicago, Chi-Town. $20 million a month, but the bill between January and June could be more than that, around $25 million by some estimate. The cost for migrant care is $7,000 per person per month. That comes out to be to about $225 a day for each asylum seeker. And when black folks ask for help in Chicago or anywhere in this country, we're told we got to have compassion. We got to dig deeper. We got to be understanding. We have to remember that we were discriminated against once upon a time. We got to remember the democratic values and shit like that.
It's going to be a collaborative approach.
As for a long-term plan, there isn't one.
Having a plan prevents this, from becoming, a tragedy, which you're already starting to see.
Look, let me just say this right now. When you come across the border, there is no, I don't know why people think that if you leave your country for whatever, that there's some guarantee that you should be somehow received with bosom and loving arms. There's no, look, when the people leave their countries and try to come over here for asylum, they're taking a chance, they're taking a risk. There is no guarantee. Chicago and other cities like Chicago have black people who are living there, been living there all their life, paying taxes. Their kids go to school there. They live there. They didn't come from no other place. And with them, there was no $51 million. I just read off to you some stats of how much money they've been spending in Chicago. $51 million is just the latest in the expenses that they're spending. None of that money has gone directly to those who are citizens in Chicago who need these services, need the benefit. And now they're telling you and me that they're going to somehow figure out how to give these people IDs and let them work, what have you. And there's people that are saying in Chicago, well, maybe they should work and work for their fair share. But first of all, they're not citizens. Technically, you don't have an obligation to them. Technically, they should have been put back on the bus and told to go right back to where they came from. In this case, Florida and Texas. Let Babbitt and all those folks, let them deal with it. Because when other people come over here, they send them right back. And I'm going to show you explosive video to prove my point. Everybody, make sure you hit a 7 in the chat room if you get where I'm coming from. Make sure you share this video on your social media if you get an opportunity. I appreciate everybody that's come over and sharing in this analysis with me. Let me read the chat room. We got a big crowd today. We got Queen I Know I Am saying we are going to have to do something as a people to secure our lives and what have you. And then we have, I got to keep it real, the Honorable Angelica. The Honorable Angelica is in the house. Let me see what you're saying here. If my thing is working like it's supposed to. And there we go. Don't forget to hit the, yeah, thank you for saying don't forget to hit the likes. What I need to do, because I've got some more juicy stuff for you. Don't want to take up all your time today. But I got to give you the juicy stuff right now. Oh my God, we've got some chick named Star, one of the mods, and so good to see you here. So good to see you here in the house. Let me give you the almighty clap. And everybody gets this clap. Thank you for dropping the link and everything like that. Let's see. Oh, we've got Guru. I think if I'm saying this name right, Guru Speaks. We, the donkey, the mew, the donkey. They're treating us like donkeys and mews. You're absolutely right. Oh, we've got the lovely Empress Goddess coming in the house saying, look at how all these Pakistani Indians and Pakistanians come over and buy up all the corner stores and motels. Right, but see, shouldn't we as black people should be buying up stuff? And because one of the things that they do is that they will come together and live in a house together. They'll pull their resources and they'll live in a little small house and build a business and get a come up. We got to start executing some of these things ourselves. Let's see. Queen I Know I Am says our people are being ignored in every sector of this sick society in America. Yeah, it's not. See, this ain't my stream today ain't old news. It's still fresh new news because this can happen anywhere across this country. San Francisco, black people are non-existent in San Francisco. No power, no political power. In L.A., black people are being pushed out of neighborhoods that they used to live in. It's crazy. And once again, you've got black leadership in L.A. Unbelievable. Queen I Know I Am says exactly. Let me see. Another CG says we buy barbershops and liquor stores. Right. This is the thing. We go into the beauty store business, but let's do not beauty store business. We go into the hair business where we have barbershops, like you said, and beauty shops. That's good. but we gotta do some other things too, diversify our portfolio. Oh, we got Harris Tribe Media Group in the house. Yeah, I love it. The Harris Tribe, check them out. Great family. His wife has a great channel. He's got great things going on too. Great people. That's what it's all about. These are the kind of folk we need to connect with, black folks who are putting out positive vibes on these YouTube streets, and they're one of them. We've got another one. What's going on, Stephen Gilmore YouTube channel? Make sure y'all check him out. Check this out. We've got Black American Television News and Information. Sisters is coming strong, and she said this: we have $1.6 trillion in spending power. We got to do for ourselves. Facts. That is true. That is very true. What are we doing? Let me see. Brown Girl Bella says they will also ban their funds and purchase franchises like McDonald's, Subways, etc. at 70%. That is a fact. Y'all doing nothing but bringing in the facts today. Your news is shorts with the... Oh, thank you. I still got to revamp that channel, but thank you. And then we got the Real Hebrew who's just come in the house. I know who this brother is. What's going on? He says, I'm glad to be on your live. This is Brother... Brother Clarence. I know who you are. I remember you, brother. Good to see you. Give you a clap. Yeah. Okay. Queen I Know I Am says this: some of us have to start the process. We can't just keep talking about it. We have to start with who we have and what we got. Well, I think the first thing that we can do, and I've done this and I do this, is we got to start identifying black businesses. Now, check this out. There's an app, and I don't have my phone. There's an app that you can download that tells you where all the black businesses in your radius. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably going to end up putting this in a community tab so y'all can see this. It's an app, and it will tell you every black business in the radius of wherever you are. We got to start supporting black businesses. We got to start, if we know someone has a food store, whatever they have, we've got to start supporting it. It's just that simple. Don't spend money with people that you know don't like you. If you can help it, don't spend money with them. That's the first thing that we can do. We got to start practicing collective economics together. So that's one of the best ways you can do it. Take the time to seek out black-owned businesses that provide high-quality services and cater to them. Give them your money. That's one way to keep the black dollar circulating within the black community if black people would spend more time spending with each other like other groups do. Very good point. We got Doll Eyes TV in the house. Chat out, most peace and love to you. Yes. She says, happy Sunday information man and all. Hey, thank you. And make sure, if you have not already, everybody, check out her YouTube channel. She does interviews, and she also has beautiful music and jazz music, and she has her channel running 24 hours with music. And she also, as I said before, does great interviews, has great guests. Also, make sure you check out, to the ladies in the chat room, as well as what I just said, make sure you check out Brown Girl Bella's channel. Give her some love. She has really interesting topics on her channel. Queen on everybody out there who has a channel. Jill's Chocolate Boutique has a channel as well. Give her love. Subscribe to that channel. She has great content over there. Oh, Reliable, what's going on? You've been rocking with the channel for a very, very long time. I appreciate you for coming over. Oh, Reliable. Let me click and put you up there and send some respect to you, saying, Queen, I Know I Am. Oh, Jackie, good to see you. Like the picture, the avatar. You say this: the city of Chicago was located $350 billion, allocated $350 billion under 2021 American Recovery Plan. We must become more politically engaged. Oh, I agree with you that we do have to become more politically engaged. We do need to know what's going on. We need to be more aware. That's why I always go to the black stores in our neighborhood, and I'm trying to practice that. I don't never go to them, have to their stores. This is Brother Real Hebrew Clarence. Appreciate that, brother. Now, this is interesting. This is what I'm talking about, folks. This is Linda, who's just come in. She says, I'm not for reparations, but I am for supporting the black community. Now, I got to be honest with you, and I'm going to say it straight up and be honest with you. What you just said doesn't make sense. How can you be in support of the black community but not be in support of reparations when that's what the black community needs, when your people got slave labor off of our ancestors? You paid the Japanese, you paid the Jewish people who didn't even have a Holocaust over here, except the American government made money off the Holocaust through what? Wall Street. You paid them off. You paid everybody else. You're giving Native Americans money every year, but you can't give black people any money? Doesn't make any damn sense. How can you say that when Joe Biden just spent $75 billion in the Ukraine? Huh? Why don't you talk about the Ukrainians? Ukraine. What are you talking about? If you are truly in support of the black community, you have to be in support of reparations, because if not, you're not in support of the black community. You're just blowing whistle and talking. You're not in support of the black community, because if you were, you would be in support of reparations. Let me show you something. I'm glad that person came in here with that nonsense. Look at this. Put this right up here right now. Check this out. Since the war began, Biden's administration and the United States Congress have directed more than $75 billion in assisting to the Ukraine. So you don't have a problem with your money going to the Ukrainians, but you got a problem with giving black folks who are citizens of this country and are due reparations, because this country was built off of our backs. You wouldn't be where you were without us. That's why you're always coming over, getting in our business. You wouldn't be anywhere without us. Joe Biden wouldn't be in office without us. Y'all need us, but y'all don't want to pay us. You don't want to pay us for what our ancestors went through, which we are the ascendants of. You don't even want to give black folks that are alive in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a reparations. It's a damn shame that Miss Fletcher, 100 and something years old, is still asking to be made good with reparations. They have done nothing for her. Joe Biden went down there and talked and did nothing for that community. $75 billion in assistance, Ukraine's, which includes humanitarian, financial aid, and military support, according to K Institution for World Economics in Germany research. Check this out. This is how much money they're spending when it comes to the whole situation with the migrants. Federal spending, the approximately $66.4 billion in federal expenditures, to illegal migrants, is straggling and constitutes an increase of 45% since 2017. This amount is roughly $3,187 per illegal immigrant, or migrant, not immigrant, migrant, per year. And you telling me you can't give black people that kind of money every year? Get out of here. You don't support black folks. Get out of here. Okay? New York is already spending $5 million per day on housing migrants. That's some more of the money that black folks could get. California, where I live at, this is the damn shame of it. According to a report, benefits and services providing to establish 3.25 million illegal migrants in California costs local taxpayers $22.8 billion annually. There goes some more of our reparations money here in California. Factoring in about 1.15 million United States born children of illegals, add more than another $8 billion in cost. Get out of here. If you thinking you for some damn, if you're for black people, then you would be for reparations. So that's nonsense.
Tell the truth.
Get out of here with that. I just gave you the data. If you don't, so when y'all make that argument about we ain't got no money, we can't afford it, bullshit. Y'all give more money in foreign aid all over the world in the billions of dollars, and y'all can't give black people the proper reparations that we're due. That's a damn lie. That's your original sin, is what you did to our ancestors. That's your original sin, and you don't even want to do anything to help to help remedy that, with at least saying, let's pay the reparations to black people because we've paid everybody else reparations. Native Americans are getting money every year for health care expenses and what have you. Yeah, they're on reservations that are in poor condition, but they're still getting something. They're a sovereign nation. And check this out. Reparations isn't begging for anything. It's due. It's a debt that you owe to our people, because without black Americans, there would be no America. Period. Let's get back at this. Bunch of nonsense, if I ever heard it. They always think they know what's best for us. Yeah, they always think they know what's best for us, and they don't. We know what's best for us. You just cut that damn check. I don't want to hear about, let me see, this is the norm. And how is all that my problem? Nobody said it was your problem. You're not, look, check this out. I'm gonna end this nonsense right here. Linda says, and how is all of that my problem? I treat people with respect and dignity, and I don't deserve to be blasted on here. This is how it's your problem. You benefit from it. You've been benefiting from it for over 400 years. That's why it's your problem. But this is the truth. This is the truth right here. It's not so much that it's your problem as an individual, Linda. It's that it's what the United States government owes black people. It's what the government owes black people. That's what the point is. It's what the government owes us. And like I said, I don't hear anybody complaining about what they're giving to Ukrainians and what they're giving to all these other people who don't even live in America, who ain't even citizens of America, that they give them in money. That's the point. See, this is what white people do all the time. When you call them out, they want to say, "Oh, it's not my problem. I didn't do this." No, but you benefit. The world that's been built around you has been created for you off the backs of my people. And it's not so much that it's your individual problem as it is the problem of the United States government. It is the government's job and duty to pay these reparations, just like it was the government that gave money to Jewish people, government that gave money to Japanese people that were put in internment camps, and just like the government cuts checks for countries around the damn globe, and they call it foreign aid. But they tell black people, "Oh, don't worry, we'll just give you some programs. We'll give you some educational We've already had educational programs. Get out of here with that." And that's the truth, Ruth. What's going on, Chica? Carlene, two-star, what's going on? What's going on? It's just the truth. Truth got to be told. If you don't like it, get out of the goddamn chat room. If you don't like it, Linda, get out of the chat room. I'm going to tell you, you said something and I critiqued what you said, and I disagree with your statement. Because you can't be in support of the black community and then at the same time say you're against reparations when reparations could help the black community. Reparations could get us out of a lot of problems that we have economically. It could give us stability. Remember, when black people came out of slavery into Reconstruction, we were given white people had a head start economically over us. That's why white people end up have what? Generational wealth. We don't have generational wealth because we were never allowed to be able to develop ourselves in the beginning of our origins in this country in a fair way. They gave us Jim Crow. They gave us all sort of black laws. They would, when black men went to war in this country, they did what? They would hang black men, delete black men. You had black people who created inventions like your ice box. Without the ice box, how would y'all cool your food and your meats? Okay, the ironing board, the third rail on train. How would your trains move without that? All the black inventions that black inventors created that got ripped off in the patent. Oh, Gary Morgan is the one that created the stoplight. Oh, I could name them and name them and name them and name them. Oh, without the Tuskegee Airmen and the triple nickel, United States would have never won World War II without the Tuskegee Airmen. Guess if we would have lost that war, guess what? Germany would have took this country over. Hitler would have won. It was the black soldiers who made the turn in those wars. We have fought in every war this country's ever had, from the Revolutionary War to the Civil War to World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, you name it, black people have been there. Oh, not to mention that the FBI and the CIA put drugs in our community, like in South Central LA, remember? So don't tell me that we don't deserve reparations. And if you're for the black community, you would be in support of it as well. Come on now. You know that everything in this world wraps around money. This whole world is operated on money. Money talks and, and bullshit walks. Right. That's right, party music DJ. Being against reparations is being anti-black, because reparations is repairing something that happened to us. And if you're for the black community, you would want us to be repaired. If you're for the black community, you would want us to get the money that we deserve so that we can do great things with that money and economically. And don't give me the bullshit about, well, if you give black people money, they're going to blow it. They're going to mess it up. Say that to the white boys on Wall Street that put us in a deficit. Say that to the white boys that ran the bank over there in California, in Silicon Valley. Say that to every president that's been in office that's got our economy all screwed up. Let's move on. What's going on, HH? What's going on, Bonnie Rose? What's going on? Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Maurice Smith, thank you for being here. I'm appreciating everybody showing up. I was off a week ago, but no fear, I'm back. Let's see here. Let me show you something else. Oh, and make sure y'all check out Party Music DJ. Brother has a great channel over there. Definitely respect him. Also too, I gotta give you let me do this for that brother. He's making an FBA channel. Let me give him I need to mod you up. I need to mod him up. Where is he at? Oh, he's already modded up. Hey, go ahead, Party Music DJ. Go ahead and drop the link for that channel that you're creating around these type of issues. Go ahead and drop that link for that channel. And let's move on with the presentation here. Let me show y'all something else. Here we go.
Housed in impoverished and marginalized black and brown communities where we have food shortages and homelessness.
I don't know if you've actually talked to these refugees who come here, but what they need are homes and jobs.
Now, he's in support of the migrants. You know, I have a serious problem with people always telling black people, trying to tell us something that we already know. How are you going to tell black people in Chicago that you don't know these migrants, but they looking for houses and jobs? Haven't black folks been looking for housing and jobs in Chicago? Didn't the people in Woodlawn, these beautiful people here who spoke out, here we go.
Speak to Little Village and take them over there.
The people in Woodlawn said, why couldn't they have turned the school into a homeless shelter for the community or a community center for the community? Why? Black people have been asking for these things too in Chicago, but the white guy gets up here and going to tell black folks in the audience what these people need and what they are. I just find it interesting.
I don't know if you've actually talked to these refugees who come here, but what they need are homes and jobs.
They need homes and jobs, the same thing that black people need in Chicago who are citizens. So how are you going to tell black people who pay taxes, live in Chicago all their life, generation after generation, raise kids, have voted for these very politicians at this board that they're talking, and they need jobs and they need housing, and they actually are paying taxes? The migrants, they don't pay taxes. They're not citizens. They didn't vote any of these people in office. But the white boy want to tell these black folks in the audience what they need. As if black people don't know anything about having needs.
Tell the truth.
The same that the people who live here need as well.
How dare this mayor?
No, the white boy said that people that live here need. He's saying that the migrants need the same thing that people in Chicago need as well. The difference is that the people in Chicago that need those things are actually tax-paying citizens. Okay? Let's hear what this brother's saying right here.
The people who live here need as well.
How dare this mayor and city council have the guts to give migrants $51 million. I demand you to have the same passion and urgency to pass the City of Chicago reparations ordinance.
People should be treated with care and compassion so they can live their lives with dignity and respect. However, when recently arrived families are sleeping on the floors of police stations with nowhere to go, we know that Chicago is not living up to its values.
Tell the truth.
Bullshit. First of all, nobody told them to risk their life coming over here. Who? That's like me. Check this out, everybody. Let me try to figure out my analysis here. That's like me and everybody in the chat room. Let's say we get on a boat, go across seas or go across land, and let's say we go to Africa or a country in Africa or a country in Europe or somewhere in the world. Just like what happened with those Africans that went to Italy and Spain and the Spanish government turned them right back around. And let's say we go over there with the hopes that we're going to get jobs and housing and we're going to be showered with all this nice treatment. There's no guarantee. That's the chance that you take. There is no guarantee that I or you in the chat room can go to another country and decide, hey, I'm going to live over here. I don't like it in America. I don't like it over here. So let me go over there, bypass their immigration laws, and let me go over there and say, hey, I want asylum. And then I expect them to put me up in a plush 5-star hotel, which is what they're doing in Chicago right now, for $51 million for 1 month. You think any country in the world is going to spend that kind of money on people who come in illegally seeking some asylum, and they're going to do that for us? How many of y'all in the chat room believe that to be true? If y'all know that's some, if y'all know that's some bull, if y'all know it's some bull, y'all know it's some bullshit, put a 7 in the chat room right now. Put a 7 in the chat room right now. If y'all know that that's some BS. If you go to any country in the world, they have laws. You just can't go into their country, think that you're going to just get all this help and get showered with all this humanitarian attitude. What happens in these other countries? They send people right back. Now, I know it's supposed to be America, mom's apple pie, and America is this, the blue, the red, the stars. Give us your humble, your whole, give us all this, the Statue of Liberty, which really was supposed to be a statue of a black woman in the harbor of New York. The true Statue of Liberty was supposed to be a statue of a black woman breaking the chains of slavery. The original Frenchman who created it, his design was to give to America a symbol that represented that, hey, you no longer have slavery, you ended slavery. This is the nation that's on the right move. And therefore, he gave him a statue of a black woman breaking those chains of slavery. And when this country, we call America, red, white, and blue, America, when they received that statue that they were going to put in the harbor, that big, huge sculpture, not statue, but a sculpture that's hanging there, that statue, America and their racism, because America, Tim Scott, that raccoon Tim Scott, who thinks America isn't inherently racist, which it is, America could not handle a black woman being in the middle of New York Harbor with that type of symbolism. So they told that Frenchman, you got to change that. You got to make it look different. And he had to come up with a European-looking statue. How many of y'all in the chat room knew that? Hit a 7 if you knew that. See, the racism of America. What's going on, Amy? $2 super chat. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
See, this is the thing about America, as y'all look at the flag right now, is that this the same country that we live in today in the 21st century, 2023, where people got up in arms over a black girl playing a mermaid.
Tell the truth.
Over a black girl playing a mermaid. I pause for effect. The mermaid is a fictional character. There's been lots of characters that have played the mermaid that have been white and otherwise. A black girl, a black woman, a young lady is cast in that role, and the whole damn world goes bunkers, bunk wow. What does that tell you about the world that we live in? It's unfortunate that people have this type of thinking, but it's sad when not even a black girl can play a Disney character like a mermaid, which is fictional, doesn't exist, and everybody got all up in arms about that. Stop for a pause of the effect. Now, let's play the next video here. In this video, you'll hear Brandon Johnson talking.
That ensure that we are dealing with the crises of those who are unhoused in the city of Chicago, while also making sure that there's room for those that we are welcoming.
We need to allocate some of this money for our black children, for the black community.
$51 million for migrants brought some loud and vocal opposition from the public, to the point where police had to escort people out of the city council meeting several times. Mayor Brandon Johnson asked for a 2-minute breather.
We want to make sure that we can continue to conduct the business of the people.
Since August, over 10,000 migrants have arrived.
Now, I want to stop it right there. Brandon Johnson said that we want to continue conducting the business of the people. The people are telling you that they don't want this to be passed, and you passed it. How can you be conducting the business of the people when the citizens of Chicago do not agree with this at all? And just so you know, it ain't just black folks in Chicago. They haven't really been promoting this, but they went into a white community where they were thinking about moving some of these migrants to. And in the white community, they were raised in hell as well, just like you see this brother right here standing up. So how can Brandon Johnson say that he's conducting the business of the people when the people of Chicago do not agree with the allocation of $51 million, which is going to only last for, it's not going to solve the problem. It's only going to be for a little Band-Aid for a month of this month in June. So that's, and for the longest, they have never had a surplus of money like this. And the minute they get a surplus of money that could really do some good for the people to actually pay taxes and live in Chicago as citizens and got some skin in the game in that town, nothing in this town. Just nothing in this town. Nothing. They just got this $51 million and they're going to give it away for just some months. And I understand the migrants are in the police stations and you got people sleeping all over the place. I get it. But why is it that when you have homelessness in the city of Chicago or any city in this country where you have black folks that are homeless out there in the streets or anywhere, and people of any other race that are homeless, you're not doing anything to take care of your home base? I want to know why that is. Because in New York City, where they're spending $5 million a day, 56% of the homeless population in New York City is black. The overall homeless population of black people in America overall is around somewhere between 54% and 50%, somewhere in there. Just to put this in perspective, let's go back.
In Chicago, hundreds are sleeping on police station floors. The $51 million is expected to help house the migrants. But those against spending the money say the city must take care of its black residents, too.
And we have to help the residents of this great city. It's not an either or, it's a both and.
Some black alders who have struggled themselves admit they're conflicted. 49th Ward Alderman Maria Haddon voted yes, but asks community.
All right, we've seen this part already. I actually showed that video. This was another version of that video. Look, let me just say this. I understand that it's not a good thing for people to be sleeping on the streets. I understand that the police stations and other services were overflooded with people sleeping. I get it. But last time I checked, you had homeless people who might have mental health problems, might be on drugs, might have been on their bad luck, meaning they were on their last luck, should I say, where once they were a thriving citizen, where they had a job and they lost their job and they hit on hard times. There's all sort of reasons. You've got families in Chicago, families all across this country that fell on hard times and lost employment and are now sleeping on the streets. But what I noticed is prior to the migrants being sent there by Santos and Santos in Florida and Gavitt in Texas, prior to these folks coming in on buses, Chicago and many cities like it did not take the same attitude and spending money to help those people that were already citizens that were living on the streets. You see where I'm coming from with this? You see what the problem is here? Brandon Johnson, you're the mayor. As you got the award-winning smile there, brother. You see what the real problem is?
Tell the truth.
The real issues in Chicago that's not being addressed properly. I just want y'all to hear what I'm saying. Now, I'm gonna show you this. Someone's gonna say, "Oh, you're being hard-hearted here. You're not being supportive. They're people. Treat them with respect. Let's help the migrants. Let's help them get housing and jobs and help them get education and get them upper mobility. Let's help them. Show humanity. Don't be nasty. Don't be evil." Okay. Now I'm about to bust everyone's bubble here. Why didn't they do this for the Haitian immigrants? When you had Haitian immigrants over there in the Del Rio area of Texas, you had everybody in the United States government, everybody in this world was saying, we got to get them out of here. Nobody was saying, let's put them in a 5-star hotel. Let's give them services. Let's get them jobs and housing. You certainly didn't have white folks like this talking about they need jobs and housing like this.
People who live here need as well.
How dare?
I don't know if you've actually talked to these refugees who come here, but what they need are homes and jobs. The same.
Boom.
Tell the truth.
Where were your white liberals? Where were your white progressives? Where was all these people saying that the Haitians need jobs? Uh-oh, now I'm stepping on some toes here.
Tell the truth.
Where were the liberal white folks, the progressives, the ones that were running around a couple of summers ago when George Floyd got deleted and were saying Black Lives Matter? Where was all that Black Lives Matter when the Haitians were over in Del Rio, Texas? I think there were like in the thousands of them over there, just like you got thousands of these migrants that everyone keeps saying, we got to give them love and compassion. Where was the love and compassion for the Haitian refugees or migrants? Because we shouldn't use that word refugees. Where was the love and compassion for the refugees? I didn't see anybody say the Haitians need housing. They need jobs. We got to get them a hotel to sleep in. We got to get them services. Let's bus them to where black people live at. Let's bus them to Chicago. Let's bus them to Baltimore. Let's bus them to Philadelphia. Let's bus them to these sanctuary cities like New York, LA, San Francisco, Oregon. Let's bus them. They didn't bus them anywhere. I make my case right here. Remember this? They were whipping them like it was slavery all over again, damn it.
Tell the truth.
Information condemned U.S. Border Patrol agents on Monday who were seen using a whip-like cord to block Haitian migrants carrying supplies into the U.S. from Mexico. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said she had seen some of the footage, calling it unacceptable.
We just saw this footage. It's horrible to watch. I just have to get more information on it. I can't imagine what the scenario is where that would be appropriate. I'm certainly not suggesting that, but we've just seen the footage earlier this morning.
Reuters drone footage captured hundreds of mostly Haitian migrants crossing back and forth between Ciudad Acuña in Mexico and the sprawling camp across the border in Del Rio, Texas, to buy food and water that was short in supply on the U.S. side. Reuters witnesses saw mounted officers in cowboy hats blocking the paths of migrants, and the apparent use of horse reins swung to threaten the migrants. At the White House, Psaki was pressed over whether disciplinary action would be taken.
Is it the president's stance or the White House's stance that whoever these border agents are using what seems to be whips on migrants, that they would be fired or at least never be able to do that again?
Of course they should never be able to do it again. I don't know what the circumstances would be. It's obviously horrific.
Now, check this out. You see how nonchalant she was? This was the secretary, the one that does that speaks for the White House, right? Under Joe Biden, Jim Crow Biden, should I say? Jim Crow Biden. Jim Crow Biden. Jim Crow Biden. You see how nonchalant they are? Did you see anybody in the federal government under Joe Biden's administration say, hey, we got to get these Haitian migrants. We got to help them out. We got to give them food and shelter and show compassion. Let's send them to some of the sanctuary cities. No, sirree. Send those Negroes back to where they come from. Here's some more.
The footage.
U.S. Border Patrol Chief Raul Ortiz said the incident was being investigated to make sure that there was not an unacceptable response by law enforcement.
Bullshit.
Tell the truth.
To make matters worse, when Joe Biden, this is about symbolism. When Joe Biden got in office, they made a big deal about him making his cabinet and people that work for him a diverse group of people. Well, the Homeland Security Secretary, or the guy that's in charge, is Alejandro. He's Latino. I don't remember seeing him come out and say, hey, the migrants got to go back right away. But he damn sure said it about this. Really pisses me off. Check this out.
Seekers at the border, sending the first wave of migrants, mostly Haitian migrants, back home on planes. Thousands and thousands of migrants have spent days camped out under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas.
And that's where we find Local 10's Glenna Milberg live with a first-hand look at the dire situation on the ground. Glenna.
Alex Laren, right here, right now, the 24-hour operation is underway, and the goal is removal. Thousands of Haitians are going back to a country that this country right now deems as in crisis. The buses take them out, the planes take them back. They are headed back to Haiti. Deportation transfers. The Border Patrol goal here, remove 3,000 Haitian would-be asylum seekers a day and deter others from making this treacherous journey to the squalid encampment under the International Bridge, where Border Patrol provides food, water, porta potties, and as of today, an escort out.
DHS is also working to accelerate and increase the frequency and capacity of Title 42 flights to expel individuals to Haiti in other countries of origin.
Title 42, that's the U.S. law used in national health emergencies like the COVID pandemic to refuse entrance to migrants, short-circuit any immigration claims process. And COVID is a fear for the thousands who've made their way to the border from Central and South America, where most have moved within the last decade. One painfully malnourished sick man taken for medical help by paramedics fully suited. As news of the exploding immigration and humanitarian crisis spread, Texas State Police closed access to the dam that had become a walking path. This cavalry easing concerns that grew with the crush at the Del Rio border.
The worst case scenario is that there's a riot or uprising, and if we don't have the law enforcement down there to help with the protection.
You notice, everybody, that when it came to the Haitians, there was all this talk about law enforcement. We need the law enforcement out there to deal with this issue. You'd hear very little talk about law enforcement as it relates to the thousands of migrants that have been shipped over to or been sent over by bus to Chicago and other places around the country. Remember, they also sent migrants up to Martha's Vineyard. I'm sorry, Marshall Vineyard in the New York area. Let's hear some more.
It was a very dire, serious concern.
According to Border Patrol and what we have been seeing, it appears that adult males are...
Tell the truth.
All right. Am I making my point, folks? Am I pushing my point ahead? I appreciate everybody that's watching. Am I making my point? Am I executing? On YouTube, people talk about a lot of stuff that don't matter. On this channel, I talk to you about things that's happening in the real world that have an impact on you. A solution that we talked about earlier is black folks, we got to realize that we all we got, and we got to start supporting each other, supporting each other's businesses. We got to work collectively. We got to work as a voting bloc. We've got to work collectively together because we're in a lot of trouble. Thank you, the Gray Pill Podcast, for the super chat saying, keep doing what you're doing, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you for the super chat. I'll play some super chat music and just near the end of the show. This is too serious of an issue for me to be dabbling in music right now. But I appreciate you, Great Pill Podcast. Check out his channel. He has a YouTube channel, and he always comes over and show a brother some love. Have I made my point? Now, remember I told you that the Biden administration, has its so-called diverse staffing. Alejandro, who's the one that runs the Homeland Security department in this country, I think he's still in charge. This is what he said. This is just a year ago. I believe this was a year ago or 2 years ago when you had the Haitians over there. And you see what they did to the Haitians. They put them on a plane and they sent them back. And nobody like the white guy in that video that I just showed you said they need jobs and they need housing. They didn't care about what they needed. They only focused on what? It was the United States government that did this, y'all. And it was under Joe Biden's administration. Hell, the Republicans would have did the same thing too. So I ain't surprised whatever they do. But it was a Democratic government that did this. The Joe Biden of the world. His administration is the one that did this. Okay, I want y'all never to forget this. The same man who signed and put into motion the 84 crime bill that put black men in jail, and Bill Clinton signed that bill. Okay, I want y'all to see this. This is what he said. This is Alejandro, and he's Spanish speaking. He's down for his people, but when it comes to our people, they got to go. Listen.
If you come to the United States illegally, you will be returned. Your journey will not succeed, and you will be endangering your life and your family's life.
They never said this. They never said this when it came to the Haitians. They never said to the migrants that have come over from Mexico, Central America, and South America, if you come over here and do this, you will be arrested, you will be deported. They never said that. Only when it came to the crisis in Del Rio, Texas, where you had a lot of Haitians who were coming in across the border trying to get supplies. And this is the thing about it. The Haitians were coming over into Del Rio to get supplies and then going back over to Mexico. Where the migrants, they're trying to come over here and stay over here. The Haitians wanted asylum. Now, there were some Haitians. This is what they did. I got to say this before I start this.
Tell the truth.
This is what they did. They let some Haitians stay over, but it was mainly, check this out. This is what they do to us. They let the women and the children stay, some, not all, and they made the men go back. What does that tell you? By making the men go back, you're trying to destroy family. Haven't they done a hell of a job trying to destroy the black family in America currently right now, ladies and gentlemen? So when the Haitian men came over with the women, they said, we'll send these men back because we don't want no more warrior. We don't want no more black men over here. But we'll let your women come over here because we can manipulate the women, right? We know that a family structure is only as strong as a man that's in that household. So we're going to make these women automatic single mothers because we're going to make their husbands and their men go back. We'll take you in. You see the tricks that the United States government played during that time? How many of you knew about that? Now, let's go back. If you knew about that, hit a 7 in the chat room.
This administration is committed to developing safe, orderly, and humane pathways for migration, but this is not the way to do it.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro
Why didn't he say that?
Tell the truth.
Why didn't he say that for the migrants that come from Mexico, South America, and Central America? But when the Haitians came over, this ain't the way to do it. So anybody that's telling black folks about how we should have compassion for the folks that came, for our brown brothers and sisters that came over from the South or from the border, dismiss me with that, because where was all that love from the brown community when it came to the Haitians who were seeking some type of asylum? Where was the love for them? None of these people came out and said, help the Haitians. None of them. You see? This is why you can't use phrases like people of color and marginalized black people. Get out of that word. Dismiss that word. Never use that word. Get very upset or when someone says that word to you, tell them, I'm not a people of color. This is how they put everybody in this bag, but then they still treat people different. The Haitians were not treated the same. This is why I don't want to hear any of this talk about we got to be compassionate for these migrants that are in Chicago and other places when there was no compassion for the Haitians. I did a video about that whole thing on this channel. What was it, a year ago or 2 years ago? Here, let's hear some of this.
Is in Texas this afternoon, seeing a massive surge of thousands of migrants firsthand. He's in Del Rio, Texas, where authorities have started mass deportations from that crowd of 15,000 migrants.
Have you heard of any mass deportation of these current migrants that have come over, that have been bused from Texas and Florida? Have you heard about any mass deportation back to their countries? No. Have the Biden administration taken all those people at the border and brought them back? No. But the Haitians, and you saw it on the video that I showed you with the airplanes, they all got taken back. They got them Haitians out of here within a week, y'all. And it was thousands of, and you notice they kept talking about, oh, it's thousands of them. We got thousands of these migrants from the other part of the country, Central America, Mexico, South America. But Haitians, you got to go back. Let me say, what's the old saying? If you're white, you're right. If you're black, get back. If you're brown, stick around. If you're brown, you're mellow. Oh, God. It's crazy.
Living in a camp city under a bridge. Now, it's a government effort to deter more migrants from traveling there. That group is mostly Haitian migrants, and already thousands have been deported. There is video of one of those deportation flights arriving in Port-au-Prince. And according to officials, ICE will begin flying multiple deportation flights a day starting tomorrow. See that parent with their child. But for many of those Haitian migrants under that bridge, Haiti hasn't been home for a decade, and we're seeing an increasingly heartbreaking situation unfold there in Del Rio. The next image might be tough to look at, but it's important to look at. The El Paso Times reported that a mounted Border Patrol agent was seen wielding a whip during an encounter.
Tell the truth.
Yes, black people voted this administration in. Black women voted at 93% for the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris administration. Black men voted around 80 to 83% for this administration. Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. But that's been the problem. Black people have been loyal to the Democratic Party for decades, and yet the Democratic Party has not been loyal to us. And that's the facts.
Haitian migrants. And joining us here in Washington is
Tell the truth.
Let me move on from that right now because we know the circumstances, we know the situation. I think I made my point. Now, let me bring in our last video for this evening, and this will be the video that will bring a crescendo to our program and get us towards that conclusion. I want to thank everybody in the chat room that's here, but before I go to this video, because this is someone that's very special who's going to break it down for us. Let's go into the chat room, see who we have here. Jill's Chocolate Boutique is still with us. HH is still with us. Chica, Caroline 2-Star is still with us. I hope I'm saying that name correct. If I'm not, I'm sorry. We got Deborah Guns in the house who's saying need to stop invading these countries and applying sanctions. Let me put what Deborah Guns is saying right here. She says, need to stop invading these countries and apply sanctions. Right. I think we need to be focusing on home. Home. What's going on, Great Pill? Let's see right here. We got Democrats and Thugocrats oppose wings of the same bird. Exactly. They're the same bird. We got Queen I Know I Am saying Black Democrats suffer from stop home syndrome. Yes. That is a problem, and it's been a problem for a very long time. Let's see. We have Jazz Lady saying, I regret my vote. Well, this is the thing. Like Brother Phil Scott said on his podcast, we got, and look, I've got my issues with Umar Johnson as it relates to that school that he hasn't opened up, but Umar Johnson was on a podcast, and he was right. Black people, we might need to show the Democratic Party by bringing them down to their knees that they can't depend on our vote no more. We may have to, and I agree with, I can't believe I agree with Umar Johnson. Our ancestors didn't die for us just to vote. They died for us to have freedom, And we might just have to show this Democratic Party that if you don't respect us, you're not going to get our unconditional love and vote. It's just that simple. We got Naps TV who says many of your favorite FBA leaders approve the treatment of the Haitians. Well, Naps TV, brother, you're absolutely right, but I don't approve of it. Naps TV. Remember I did a video about this? I had a whole bunch of people over here that night watching me when I did the video about what happened to the Haitians. I don't approve of what they did to the Haitians because what my point I'm trying to make is even if we feel that Black immigrants come over and undermine Black people that have lineage to this land, the most common denominator is that they treat Black people in the global world like, you know what I want to say, like shit. They treat us poorly. So I just wanted to make that distinction between how they treat Black people that are seeking to come here versus other people. They don't want Black population over here because they know that a lot of Hispanics and Latinos, they want to define themselves as white. When they come over here, they want to identify themselves as white. And when they come over here, sometimes they bring anti-Black sentiments with them as well. Because all you have to do is look at how Black Afro-Latinos are treated in these brown countries. They treat the Afro-Latino with racism. So when they come over here, what make you think they're going to treat us any better when they don't even treat the Black Latinos or the black people who speak Spanish in South America, in Mexico. Look at how they treat black Mexicans in Mexico, how they marginalize them. Or in Central America, look at how they treat the black Spanish-speaking people. They treat them terrible. I rest my case on that. We got Man Gaming is in the house saying what? What are you saying here? Hopefully more of you guys feel the same way. And Naps, I get where you're coming from, brother. But you know how I am on my channel. I'm equal. I'll talk about it all. I'll break it all down. I'm going to be truthful. I got to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? What's good, Information Man? Chaos Rain is in the house. Peace to you. We got a view for a view in the house. Yes. Good to see you over here. Thank you. Ladies, everybody, definitely go over to A View is a View channel. Give her a subscribership. I think she just made 10,000 subs over there. And she does a lot of art. Coloring and art. It's a very relaxing channel. No drama. You can just go over there, relax, and watch her, create these nice pieces of art that she's coloring and penciling in, and very relaxing. And sometimes she has panels sometimes, and check her out. Yeah. And Naps TV that was in here, make sure you check out his channel too. He does a really good content over there. He gets into these type of social issues like me, Naps TV. We got Real TV. Real TV says, and the Haitians are going to treat American blacks poorly. I just addressed that issue, my brother. Yes, we know that black people from other countries will come over here and have this treat us bad. We know that. It's true. But what I was simply trying to show is that even the black folks that come over here who don't want nothing to do with us, white folks don't like them either. These other groups don't like them either, you see? And so I just wanted to show the distinction in how they're treated, how they were treated versus how the migrants that we call brown people are treated. That's the point I was trying to make. Thank you, brother, for coming in and making your point. And, definitely understood where you were coming from. Let me see right here. They need to wake up. See more now. Well, let me hit y'all with this video right now. You know who the man is. You know who he is. He always speaks truth, and he's going to wrap it up in a nice bow for all of us. That is Dr. Claude Anderson. And no laugh for that, brother. Here he is, Dr. Claude Anderson.
Those that are born here have rights and are not exported, and their parents aren't are put out of the country. So are you on the other side of that argument?
No. What I'm saying is that to do that, it is unjustifiable. It's illegal and unconstitutional, and it's the worst form of injustice that you commit against black folks, because what you're violating is black folks' rights. But see, you cannot, see, the 13th Amendment, let's go back for a second. The 13th Amendment came into existence after the Civil War. Yeah. It says very clearly, Rod, that it mandates that black folk be treated in all manners similar to whites in this nation. Now, but immigration policies and bringing in immigrants only negatively impact black folk. It's not impacting anybody else. Black folk are the only injured parties by immigration. Then you go to the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment says that black, and remember the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, those things were written for black folk. That black folk must have due process and equal protection under the law. If black folk are the only people being negatively impacted by immigrants, you're violating the 14th Amendment. There should be all kind of lawsuits right now raised by black folk. And then the Civil Rights Law of 1865 and 1866 said very specifically, Rock, that every level of government is mandated to use all necessary means to lift the badges and incidents of slavery off the shoulders of black folk. Now here you are bringing in all these immigrants over black folk. And here's what you do when you bring them all into black folk. because you do the same thing they were doing in 1790 when they brought in all these immigrants. You bring in million immigrants over black folk from Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Northern Europe. You brought them in over black folk. When you bring in immigrants, here's what happens. You got black folk that are branded. They don't get any benefits for living in this country because they're branded as being slaves. They get zero benefits. Now, they're not immigrants. Now, watch what on the other side. Now, when immigrants come in, watch the benefits they get. They go past black folk at 200 miles an hour to pass them. That's why in all these cities, in Chocolate City, they do better right here in Chocolate City. Now, they're underneath the immigrants. Immigrants, they come in the country, they get a point over black folk for being an immigrant. Blacks are the only non-immigrant. 2, all of them are classified as whites. The Arabs, Asian, Hispanics, they all been reclassified.
Didn't I just say that, everybody? These other groups come over here that we call brown people, and they'll be classified as white, and they will classify themselves.
Classified as whites. Even American Indians back in the 1890s became classified as whites. They get a point. That's the second point. They get over black folk in getting access to resources and benefits. The third thing they get the benefits for being put into a minority category. They're classified as minorities over black folk. Thirdly, they come in with a culture that they can establish a culture that they can now build businesses and industries and relate back to their homeland. And lastly, what they can do, they also bring in a religious aspect and business opportunities for their people. Black folk get nothing, and they can come in and take and dominate black folk. That's why right now black folk have been buried as an underclass. That's why in this Black History Reader, you look at the second question. It'll show you that the last statistics that came out from the United States Department of Labor says that everybody's over black folk. Black folk have not moved one iota in 150 years. They're still on the bottom, underneath the society and outside of it.
You said something earlier in an answer where you said that you talk about native blacks. And so that clearly sounds as if you are delineating native blacks versus someone that comes here from Bermuda or Jamaica or wherever they may they may come from that is black.
That's right.
And the purpose of that is what? Because on the surface it would be like, hey, everybody here that's black gets treated a certain way. Why are you making that delineation?
That is an excellent point. You know why? Because you see, those people coming in from Jamaica or coming in from Africa, they have not been treated like black folk in this country. That's the first thing. And secondly, historically, they haven't had those historical skills. They come in here voluntarily. When they come in here, they bring some cultural aspects from Africa. They can go back anytime they want. But the black people in this country have been exceptional people. Nobody's been mistreated and maltreated like them. Black folk are exceptional. They're the only people that came here forcefully, one. 2, they're the only people that denied their humanity. 3, they were the only people denied a right to enjoy the fruits of their labor. 4, they were the only people denied the right to participate in government. 5, they were the only people denied the right to vote. 6, they were the only people denied the right to have an education. 7, they were the only people denied the right to have a business. 8, they were the only people that participated in every war that this country has had since its founding, but whose mother country has never been against this country. All those immigrants come from countries where they fought America, and they came in. And the 7, that they are the oldest and most patriotic people in the country. Not the Confederates in the South. They're not the most patriotic people waving the Confederate flag. The most patriotic people in this country are black people, native blacks, because you see 99% of all those blacks have been direct descendants of slaves. They've been here before 99% of all the other people ever arrived in this country. They are special people. And because they are special people, they need to be recognized, appreciated, and reparated for what they've done in this country and building this country. They're the ones that built the bridges, the roads, cut the timber, the trees, cleared the land, raised the tobacco, cotton, indigo. They're the people that fought in every war to protect this country. The people coming from Africa or coming from Jamaica didn't. They came here voluntarily. And the most important point on this is if you lump them with black folk, then you give the dominant white society a justification to say we don't owe black folk anything. Because you see, the blackness that's native, black people's blackness is more than just color. It is their heritage, it's their history, it's their code of conduct, and more importantly, it is their badge of honor, and it's what it symbolizes the indebtedness that this country has to them. This country does not have any indebtedness to people coming from Africa. They don't have any indebtedness to people coming in from the Bahamas. If you lump black folk in there, you deprive black folk of the benefit, the debt that's owed them. Don't do that.
You are spitting fire. Let's keep going here, and I want to deal with some of the historical aspects of all of what you're talking about.
Okay.
But you know, something that is what is 50-year history, for example, is Martin Luther King's colorblind dream. Did his and the civil rights movements focus on integration and having the ability to sit at the counter with the dominant society and open up a lot of doors where there was obviously very clear legalized discrimination, to knock down those barriers? Did that take the focus off of blacks' rights?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And let me go back before you get to the back of what Martin Luther picked up. And see, and again, Martin Luther King and the civil rights leader, they did the best they could at that particular time. You know, what they thought was right, but they didn't look far enough down the road.
Right.
And they got bamboozled and tricked. Because you see, the initial decision and the suit that was filed for what you all might call social integration, the civil rights movement, was filed in McClinton, South Carolina. And what those black folk filed for, they filed for desegregation. And what desegregation means, we don't have what Anderson talks about. We don't control those resources. We don't have any resources. And so what was happening in McClinton, South Carolina back in 1948 when that lawsuit was filed, those black kids were walking to school and up dirt road in the rain and snow trying to get to school. When they got to school, they didn't have the same privileges in those schools like in North Carolina. I was from South Carolina, North Carolina, where we spent the first week of school every year cleaning up old textbooks, old materials, and used stuff that was coming from the white schools. Yeah. Whites got all the new materials. They got all the fabrics and the tools, the machinery, technology. We got to use broken down. They had to fix it up. Spend the first week of school with big erasers, cleaning up the books and putting tape on them. The white kids had swimming pools in their schools.
Tell the truth.
We didn't have swimming pools. We used to have to go down and dam up the creek to swim. And so then plus that, more importantly, the white kids rode the buses. We walked. And the worst part about it, that the state was giving something like about $12 for every white child to go to school, but only $1.50 for a black child to go to school. What the McClinton, South Carolina people were saying is that we won't have equal control of the resources that you began to maldistribute in the 1790s to everybody but us. We won't have our fair share.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. That pretty much is the conclusion pretty much of my presentation today. I really appreciate all of you coming in. Let me go back into the chat room and see who we have here, because I know that people are probably saying all sorts of incredible things in the chat room. To get your perspective, before I end this, I need to get some of your perspective. Now we got my man, L. Nix, the voice of reason, who gave me a $2 super chat, which I appreciate that.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I will be playing some super chat music to celebrate everyone that super chatted me and everyone in the chat room. And L. Nick says this: thanks for always giving us something real, brother. I appreciate you, L. Nix. I've seen you around the YouTube streets, and we've been on several panels together. We've had various different conversations on different people's panels, but I've always appreciated you, L. Nixon, because you keep it real, you're honest, no matter what the subject is that we're talking about. And you've always been respectful to me. I've always been respectful to you. And that's the type of black men that I want to be on any panel with or hang out with or have any conversation with whatsoever, a thinking man. So I appreciate you for that super chat again, my brother. Appreciate you again. We have All Again Media. And I think L. Nixon has a well, I don't think. He has a YouTube channel. So check him out. I always tell people you should take a piece of paper out and just write people's names down and then go and subscribe to their channels if they have a channel. If, you know, and it's always about whether you're interested in what they're doing. And L. Nixon, brother, if you like football and sports and stuff that's going on at Colorado with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Subscribe to my sports channel. It's called Prime Sports Media. It's doing pretty good. It's growing. I got to be honest, the channel's doing damn good. And subscribe to that channel, Prime Sports Media. Anybody who likes sports or just wants to follow what's going on with Colorado and Deion Sanders and any other sports topics that I'll be talking about over there, subscribe to Prime Sports Media. You'll find it on this page right here, and check it out. All at It Again Media. I want to thank you for coming in, my dear sister. And then we got the Honorable Angelina Nordstrom saying, yes, support one. Yes, support her channel as well. Support channels, because on YouTube, we got. I got to be honest. I want to tell you, this channel right now, my first channel, because of what I'm noticing on my other channel, I know for a fact that YouTube is holding the channel back, meaning it's not pumping it out to more and more people through the algorithm because of the subject matter that we talk about. Now, this video will probably not get monetized because of the subject matter that I'm talking about, but yet YouTube has an ad. Have you seen this ad? It has a black girl on it, and she says, hey, do you like getting high? I don't like the ad. And then she pulls out this little package for how you can still get your high. YouTube is a hypocrite. They're promoting a commercial with a black woman. Y'all seen this commercial where she's promoting the idea of this is another way you can get high if you like getting high. So she's selling some type of cannabis product. But then YouTube will turn around and demonetize your video when you have real conversations like this. But yet they have no problem with someone. It's crazy. I know y'all have seen that video. It's crazy. I don't like it personally. Queen I Know I Am says, I'm annoyed at it today. Yeah, I do not like that commercial. And they have a black young... It's a commercial that I don't have control of the commercials. Whatever comes up, but I don't like it. Personally, I don't like it. And to each his, I don't have no, to each his own, the people who like to smoke weed and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't like the commercial because it's a contradiction that they would put that up, but then they will demonetize your channel if you're talking about serious or sensitive issues like this. It bugs the mind. And everybody, let me say this, and I need to cover this too. That woman, that white woman that shot that black woman and did harm to her kids and shot her, that's a damn shame. I'm going to have to do a podcast on that and drop that as a uploaded video podcast. They waited all those days before they arrested her and then gave her bail. Those police out there should be ashamed. The woman needs to be under the prison. I just had to say that. I saw it this morning. Yeah, I don't know how y'all feel about that ad, that YouTube ad. I don't like it. Because like I said, they will play that ad, but they'll demonetize your channel if you talk about something like what I'm talking about right now. I'll be surprised if this doesn't get demonetized because it's sensitive. I'm calling out these politicians. Let's see. Speaking of Colorado, Denver Nuggets have a chance to win their first championship tomorrow night against the Heat. Yeah, they do. They do. Let me see. Empress Goddess says I have not seen it. Yeah, it'll be it's got like a brown or light-skinned, brownish colored black girl on there. And I guess they're selling like a cannabis type product. But the first thing she says out of her mouth is, do you like getting high? I mean, YouTube don't care because they're going to make money off that ad, right? And the funny thing about it, YouTube makes money off the ad off our channels. That's crazy. That's how it works. Let me see. Like the Willie Lynch letter states, it makes for good economics. Be One for Life has just come in. It's annoying the hell out of me. Yeah, every time I see that commercial, I just can't wait to delete it off, to X away. I do not like it. I know it's not the subject of the video today, but I just had to bring that. I had to talk to you. I wanted to bring it to your attention to know if I don't want to, you know how the old saying goes, am I crazy or am I the only one that's thinking this, or do other people think the same thing? And you guys just validated me. Y'all thinking the same thing as well. Yeah, I'm going to be, the Honorable Angelina Nordstrom, I'm going to be dropping YouTube has this, depending on how many subs you have, YouTube has this new thing where you can upload podcast, right? And they go to other parts of YouTube, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be dropping like 8 minute, it's only going to be a 8 minute, 9 minute, 5 minute, very short podcast. And sometimes when I'm not able to get to certain stories, I'll just do this podcast and upload it. It'll be a visual podcast and you guys can watch it. It'll be short. It won't take up a lot of your time, but it'll get right to the point. And I think there's a bunch of stuff that I need to talk about that I'm going to do in short podcast form. And then there'll be some stories that I'm going to do in long form like I'm doing right here. Let me see. B1 for Life said this. And welcome in B1 for Life, everybody. Yes, I seen it on every Black content creators channel. I subbed to wow. So you saying every Black content creator has this commercial? I find that interesting. So what are they trying to say? Put it on Black people's channel? Because they know that Black people who follow Black people's channels, y'all like to get high. Is that what they're trying to say to us?
Tell the truth.
I mean, is that the message inherently, y'all? Am I just talking conspiracy theory? And look, I ain't got nothing against people who like to get their smoke on. That's your business. But for some reason, I just don't like the commercial. And I don't like it on my channel. Queen, I know I am saying, right. Hey, Queen, I know I am. I got to get back over to the Elders channel. Some kind of way he's falling out of my algorithms. This is what YouTube does. It takes people away from you. Everybody that's watching me right now, please, every now and then, well, you should be anyway, make sure that that when you go to my channel, make sure the bell of notification is clicked, because YouTube still plays these games where they unsubscribe people and they take the notification off of you. I don't like that. Thanks, Information Man, for bringing up important issue. Hey, thank you. I really I appreciate everybody. As I get ready to end this, I want to say that I appreciate everybody in the chat room. I appreciate all of you that follow me on other forms of social media that I'm on. I thank you for your patience with me. I thank you. I know I never start my channel. I never start my videos exactly on time, but thank you for understanding that. There's a lot of things going on technically before I go live that I have to deal with sometimes that come up. Thank you for rocking with me as you have done all these years and all these months. If you're a new subscriber, did I get a super chat by Jay? Oh, thank you for the $10 super chat. Wait a minute now. This is Jazz Lady. Is this Jazz? If I'm saying this right, Jazz Lady, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
And for everybody that super chatted me and support this channel, this is for you. Here it comes right now.
Thank you for the super chat.
Time to run it off. I wake up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first die. Stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip this. Wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first die. Stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up.
Tell the truth.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you again. Everybody that's been rocking with the channel. We've got Ty. Let me see. How do you pronounce? Yo made this track. Yo made this track. Hey. And I'm able to use it because I have the license agreement to use it. Thank God for some of the services out there. Thank you, T.Y. Mac Kitchen. T.Y. Mac Kitchen, you said yo made this track. Thank you. I got that track. I have a license agreement. There's a thing called Epidemic Sounds, and this is where I got the license. I pay a license fee. All my music on my channel is licensed, so I don't have to worry about any type of copyright strikes and what have you. I can play all kind of jamming music to my heart's content. All right, everybody, y'all take care of yourself. Much love to you. Much love to everybody in the chat room. Oh, Reliable, I see you. Party Music, DJ. You know I'll be over at your channel later on tonight because I know you be up late doing your streams. So you can expect me in your chat room tonight listening to the music and watching you play the games and saying hi to the folks over there. I'll be over there late tonight to participate in your chat room or just to relax and enjoy the stream. Everybody, thank you. Oh, wait a minute. George. Now, wait a minute. I should have never I got to say this. Street Media TV is George Makem. This weekend, along with his family, his sons, he went down to Q Butter's spot in Brooklyn. I think it's Brownsville, Brooklyn. Am I correct about that, George? And Q Butter has the Ziax Educational Institute, and he was rewarding the kids, his students, those that have participated in the program. It was basically like a science fair where he was displaying the science exhibits that the kids had created. This is Q Butter, and then George Makem, along with Urban Nerds Worldwide, his organization, showed up. And this is what I'm going to do, George. And I need to do this more often. George, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, every time I go live, and I need to be doing this more often, I'm going to make sure that I promote the website more heavily. So I'm going to try to run that. I'm going to run your website through my community tab over here. And George, I'm going to run your website through my other channel called Prime Sports Media. It's a big channel. I actually get more. This is going to be crazy to you. I actually get more views on videos on the Prime Sports Media channel. I'm going to run your site through that, promote it over there. I'm going to promote it over here heavily through this community. I'm going to put, so George, keep sending me stuff like you did the other day when you say, hey, put this in your community tab. We'll keep promoting it. I'll keep bringing up the name Urban Nerds Worldwide. Everybody need to go to Urban Nerds Worldwide website. Before I end this, George Makem, Street Media TV, I need you to drop the link a few times in the chat room. I'm going to put the link, I'm going to embed the link to your website in the description of all my videos, all of them, so that I can just tell people, go into this description of the video and click the link to the website. And you get a tax off your donation. He has a legitimate organization. Q Butter has a legitimate organization. Let me shout out Naps TV. He was there on the scene with his phone when they were having this celebration, this science fair, this STEM fair for the kids, and the kids made incredible things. And I had a chance to watch this on Naps TV. And believe me, if I could have been there myself, if I lived back east, if I could have been able to hop on a plane and get there, if I was able to do it, if it fit my schedule, I would have shown up. But they're doing what black men need to do. Building a community, unifying a community, working with the youth, building them upwards and onwards towards great things. So George, that's my declaration to you. I'm gonna start putting the Urban Nerds link in the description of my videos, every video that I upload on this channel. I'm gonna start dropping your stuff, your website in there a little bit every month. Put it in there every chance I get. Promote it. Because that's how much respect I have for George Makem, Urban Nerds Worldwide, Q Butter, and any other brothers out there doing the damn work. And as he is here now, Street Media TV. Yes. Just Alicia, thank you for saying it was a great live. You live in Chicago. You know, if I would have had a panel today using StreamYards, if I was using StreamYards today, I actually would have liked you to come up on the panel because you live in Chicago and I would like to know your perspective. Even if your perspective is different from mine, it would be nice to have someone who actually lives in Chicago that can give us more on the ground insight into what's happening there and how black people have been marginalized by their own politicians that look just like them. I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. And right, that's right. The institution science fair in Brooklyn, it was a science fair. That's right, Brother George Makem. It was a science fair in Brooklyn and he was there. This is what it's all about. Stay safe and stay encouraged, everybody. Yeah, stay safe and stay encouraged. That's really good words. Thank you, Honorable Angelina Nordstrom. Thank you for saying what you just said. I appreciate everybody. So let's get on out of here. Everybody take care. Peace to you and much respect.
Tell the truth.
Peace, everybody. George, take care, everybody. Take care. Peace you. Thank you for supporting the channel the way you've been doing, everybody. I'll be back. Hopefully, maybe I can do another show during the week. I need to do that. I need to get this channel back into the algorithms again. Thank you, everybody. Peace.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. Network. BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today.
Tell the truth.